I am Jennifer Barnes Jenks now. This is my husband, Andy, and I met him after, and he is 3 years younger than me. I didn't care. And he went to state, but he did not have the pleasure of being in InterVarsity, but he is a youth pastor, and so we have countless opportunities with youth and college students. And I'm always talking about InterVarsity, and this is how we did it in InterVarsity. So that has obviously shaped my life. And I did get to go to Sam and Nell's on Friday nights in the summer, and that was awesome. And then towards the end, I went to Sam and Nell's. I went to Crossroads for most of the time, and then I switched over to Providence. So, what else to say? 91 to 96. I dragged it out a little bit.
I'm Sarah Suter-Irwin, and I was in both InterVarsity and Sam and Nell's class and graduated in 96, and that's my husband, John.
My name is Lisa Schaefer Anderson. It's my husband, Mark Anderson. I was in InterVarsity and Sam and Nell's class, and I also want to thank Sam and Nell for all the truth they were teaching us through Scripture, because it's definitely made an impact on our life and our children's, and who knows how many children they'll have, and so it just keeps going on. Thank you.
I am John McCollum Pennell. But most of you know me as John Boy. I quit fighting it, I just wrote it on here. It's like when they call somebody tiny, I was telling that earlier. I'm so old now, I was like, hey, John Boy. Anyway, I went to Sam and Nell's and InterVarsity and that mysterious third group, Sons of Christ, that was banned. Power to the people.
McCollum. Is that better? I hope. Okay, anyway. My dad gave me the 4-year program on his bill, so I stuck to it, 93 to 97. And Sam actually had to lock me in the fridge to get me to sit still for John.
I'm Brian Poole, and I was InterVarsity from 93 to 96, I believe. I think my first time going there, I don't think I was believing when I first showed up. But I booked up for the Lord that summer after my freshman year. And I just showed up because actually I thought this was crusade meeting. I don't recognize anybody. No, but I did. I went to InterVarsity, and I would go to Sam and Nell Sunday School class. Even though at the time I didn't go to Providence, we would go to Sunday School class at Sam and Nell's, and then we'd drive real fast over to Crossroads for the service. But now I go here and I'm a member officially, so I think I made it up. I teach Sunday school. So.
I'm Tiana Poole. I'm his wife. He didn't bother to introduce me like that. I'm not sure why.
I think my wife is confident enough to do it. So.
There you go. I was here from 91 to 95 in Sam and Nell's and
Chris Balcom, 87 to 91. My wife and I met at InterVarsity. My roommate, Rob, and I met in InterVarsity, and we're still good friends. And, you know, it's meant a lot. I do have an interesting, real quick tidbit. I actually have a picture of freshman move-in of Mitch White handing me an invitation. My brother and my dad snapped the photo, and I have it, and it means so much. It's amazing to have a photo of the instant that someone's inviting you to something that ends up being important, you know?
Wow.
So.
I'm Diane Baucom. I was Diane Rep, and I was in InterVarsity from 88 to 92, where Chris and I met, and it was just, InterVarsity was a huge blessing for me, just a huge blessing. I'm older than most of you.
Oh, dang.
She's got me by months.
Not quite 40. But just want to encourage you staff workers, what an impact you can have on the lives of people like us here tonight. And I know it's a hard job, and it's long hours, but it is critical because when I came to college, God was my parents' God. And when I left college, God was my God. And it was because of InterVarsity and what God chose to do through that. So I worked with my husband on exec, and Rob and I were small group leaders, and those are some of the best times of my life. So that's it.
I'm Stephen Moore. I was with InterVarsity from 91 to 95. I know most of you here. And I just wanted to thank everybody for the impact you had on my life. I remember at a small group we had Windy Gap. I'd grown up in church all my life, but never really made it my own, like several people said. But I remember Mark Ford talking about the inerrancy of Scripture. I'd never heard that before, going to church all my life. And at the time, thought that, I didn't know what to think of that, but I'm just glad for the things I've learned from people in this room, and I hope that I can share that with my children, and that they can, find friends like you guys. And I want to thank Sam and Nell also, even though I wasn't in the Sunday school class here, but I used to go Friday nights to your house. I didn't know it was for the Sunday school class. I just kind of showed up and they let me in. And thank you.
I'm Krista O'Neill, Del Sorbo, and I was at State from 91 to 94. I was on the fast forward playing with Karen, before Karen. And I was in such a hurry that I missed everything through my first 2 years and didn't meet this great group until my last year, and I really hate that I missed it. I feel like I missed out on so much. So thank you to the staff for what you do and help kids slow down and realize that, hey, there's more than just getting a degree and graduating.
Carl Del Sorbo, husband, there from 91 to 95, both InterVarsity and Sam and Nell's. I started in my sophomore year, which, sophomore year. So, just again, this group, we think of God, triune God, and just a God of community. And what we have here, just another reflection of God and the community that He wants from His people. And this is just a great experience to see all of you again and see that community.
Mickey Sapansky Ford. I was here from 90 to 94, and Mark and I met in InterVarsity, and I floated around from church to church and did some crossroads, but ended up in Sam and Nell's class. I'm so thankful for it. Today's been a great day reminiscing and remembering people that I've forgotten about. I started InterVarsity my freshman year. I was invited by Terry. What's Terry's last name?
Oakley, yeah.
Yes, he wrote me a letter I totally forgot about, so Rob reminded me. He wrote me a letter before I even came to State. Invited me to freshman move-in and the cookout. So it's been a great day seeing everybody.
I'm Mark Ford. I was here from 91 to 95 as well. I worked as a counselor before I came to State between high school and college, and met all these guys that were from Raleigh that were the students I took care of. And they said, you got to come to this great church, and it's in Raleigh once you get there. And I said, all right, I'll come visit. Is it close to the campus? And they said, no. So where's the church at? And, well, it's not really a church. We meet in an old grocery store. And okay, I'll come. In the strip malls where we have our Sunday school. Oh yeah, I'll come. And never left. I came and visited. And I think the first Sunday we were there, Sam, you did Mark like in one week. You used to. Yeah. And then we spent eons in Genesis just soaking up the Word. But after we got out, Mickey and I taught some Sunday school class. We taught the grad and career, and we taught young adults afterwards. And I kept on finding myself saying things like what Beth said. I think the Old Testament is a picture of a New Testament truth. And I kept on saying things like I'd get to it therefore, and I'd say we got to ask what it's there for. And where did you get that from? And so I got this great mentor and teacher, and I learned it all. And I appreciate what you paid for it. So thank you very much.